Universe mode is the one thing that I typically always go back to with the 2K game. Customizing shows, building out these rivalries. Over time though, the universe mode format really seems to be getting a little stale, and it's feeling a little bit old in my opinion. There is hope that 2K24 is going to correct a lot of things, but I am worried that we're not going to get this big flushed out experience that we're hoping for. I also feel like it's going to be missing some core things, and we haven't even heard that much about it, and the game is like a month away. Here's some of the pluses about Universe mode that we know so far. Double title matches are going to be optional in Universe. Now, this is something that people asked for all through 2K22, 23, and we were wondering why this wasn't just even patched into the game. It's probably more complicated than just flipping a switch, but it is something that people really were just kind of like, really? We can't even do that in Universe mode? It's supposed to be the sandbox, do everything. So I am very happy for players that that is going to be added into the mode. The other big thing is going to be match types. Over at WCCF Tech, Brian Williams did an interview there, and when it came to Universe mode and my GM, he had some comments about this saying, quote, "The fact that all of these match types, these new ones, are all available in all other modes, Universe, My GM, Online, I think that also is something that just made the effort all that much more worthwhile. You know, it's not just an exhibition play thing. This is great on multiple accounts. One, My GM is getting the love, and I enjoy My GM mode. In Universe mode, it did have me skeptical though at first that we weren't going to get these match types, the new ones, the ambulance match, the casket match, the gauntlet match, the special guest referee. I'm happy like they did with War Games, they put it in Universe mode, it's going to be in there, and it's going to be in GM mode, and online. Those are all positives. But what has me concerned is we're not hearing anything substantial. We're not hearing of anything groundbreaking. And I don't think that they are trying to reinvent the wheel. Nor do I think they need to scrap it all and start over, and I think that's totally unrealistic. But we only have 1v1 and tag team rivalry actions, low, medium, high for the intensity. I think a lot of players for Universe mode are looking for that to be expanded into factions or three-way, four-way, being able to mix it up that way. I kind of feel like because it's not even being mentioned, discussed, highlighted, that it's probably not going to be in there. And looking over at WrestleZone, where Lionel Jinx did an interview talking about Universe mode, when asked about the big upgrades, what we will see in the mode this year, Jinx did talk about how Universe has got a strong foundation. Now, what I like though about Brian Williams and Lionel Jinx every single year when they do talk is that they try their best to give players as much information as they can, or at least be transparent as much as they can with what's new and what are the limitations working with less than a year of development cycle to pump these games out. Talking about Universe mode, Jinx says that, quote, "I wouldn't say it's a whole new upgrade. I think we have a strong foundation of what we added last year with the rivalry actions, and we added more rivalry actions like run-ins, Money in the Bank, and also supporting all the new match types in Universe, which I think is extremely important and also difficult for us because of the way Universe is structured. The rivalry actions were, in my opinion, a really good addition to last year's game. I like being able to get all of those different optional cutscenes, even being able to put it into free mode, which was a nice touch, so that if we didn't want the AI to kind of determine it, we can just take full control of it altogether. And this was one of my predictions this past year, is that they're going to double down on rivalry actions. Why not? Add in more of those cutscenes. But what are we going to get? And are we going to see anything really substantial in that regard? Having dedicated rivalry actions for Money in the Bank, I think is excellent. Hopefully it means that there's going to be multiple cutscenes for Money in the Bank, and hopefully it means that we're going to get, based on the intensity of the rivalry, and you got Mr. Money in the Bank holding the briefcase, I'd really like it to offer new ways to cash in, tease a cash in. Money in the Bank plays a big role. Maybe there's something special where I can cash in on the champion at WrestleMania, and we get specific dialogue lines for all of it, on top of being able to just do the regular free form of cash-ins. Problem there, it doesn't always work. Run-ins is a very interesting one. One of my big complaints with Universe mode and the game in general over the years is the lack of ability to really just do a run-in. I want to be able to mid-match, just like a cash-in, be able to just press a button, prompt it, and select someone from my stable to come in and interfere in a match. I know that we can set the sliders and everything for having the options to have better chances of run-ins. I know that we can select like one of the paybacks to be a run-in option too and use that. But run-ins in Universe is going to be really cool. But what's it going to allow us to do is the question. Are they talking run-ins with your respective faction members like Judgment Day? Or are they just saying, go and interfere in a match, and you're Cody Rhodes and you're going to interfere in the Roman Reigns match? and you're going to do a run-in. And then maybe it's also going to help us figure out what kind of run-in you can do. Attack, pre-match attack. But we have those. We have the post-match beatdowns, pre-match. So when they talk run-ins, I feel like I need a little bit more. Jinx also went into more detail about the mode in general and kind of the difficulties they have with it. Quote, trying to get any of that stuff in, things like the new match types, the rival reactions, takes a whole lot of effort from not just the Universe team, but the entire game. And so any improvements that we try to make throughout the rest of the game, we try to make sure that Universe can accept all that stuff. Like with creations, any new additions that we make there, all of that stuff has to work with Universe. This is where I kind of feel like Universe is a double-edged sword. It's been around for years, and MyGM, the new version of that, that's kind of like all baked and built in-house. Universe mode is very old, and it feels like it's constantly getting duct taped and brought along for the ride. I almost hope that over time, they almost ditch Universe mode and just go for a WWE live mode where it's MyGM as the primary base of it all, and then they incorporate the rival reactions and the elements of the sandbox into it, so you have kind of full control. Because like one thing, and they haven't talked about it, maybe it's there, but I don't really see it happening. It's like a draft. I really wanted to have a draft in Universe mode this year. Nice way to kick things off. You do have different brands. WWE does the draft every single year now, and the sandbox element to me should have that. But again, I can go over to MyGM and use that function there. So they're trying to constantly do more, but I feel like, again, one of my concerns is them not being able to push the mode forward, because it's a big one and a big focus for most players every single year, and it keeps the game going. It gives you that longevity with it so that you play longer. Jinx continued by saying, just by expanding on what we added last year with the rival reactions and double title matches, those are the huge improvements I would say that we focused on for this year, which to me are welcome additions and will make Universe feel that much more, I would say, in the tune of the rest of the game. They're trying to align the base game with Universe mode and vice versa, so that we have the same experience in play exhibition and being able to carry that on with your whole season that you're creating. But is it enough for you? Double title matches, great option, but we don't really have double titles anymore in WWE, straightforward, but it is a great option. I love it. I do love it. But can they nail things like rival reactions? Because one thing I'm betting a lot of you in the comments are talking about is going to be story designer and maybe even more so promos. Promos is a big focus. It's a big thing that people have been championing for a couple of years now to bring back, and just have that slot in Universe mode, setting up the card and being able to pick a promo. My belief is that if they're going to do anything, they're going to put it into rival reactions, and you're going to select some kind of promo in there. Maybe we'll see the glimpse of that this year, maybe not. But WWE is so heavy on storytelling, especially in the last couple of years. You want that moment where you can have Roman Reigns in the ring holding the microphone and Cody Rhodes comes in and confronts him, but it's a promo. And even at a very basic level, it's something that I wish and I hope that we will see. This is where I feel like Universe mode could end up disappointing a lot of players, because they're gonna feel like, there's not a lot of updates here. This game really feels to be centered around quality of life, not these large movements where they're overhauling the experience, because I don't think it needs it, but it does need those tweaks. And it does seem, from what we know so far, we are getting those quality of life pieces. And being able to improve things like having those match types, the new ones like special guest referee, having that as a main event of WrestleMania match is awesome, especially with the addition of the blood expanding and having that splatter all over the arena. If it's stable and the mode is consistent and there's enough variety when it comes to the cutscenes that you're getting there to pick, it could be good. But there's a few things that probably will disappoint players. We're not going to get any type of Universe mode online. They confirmed this as well as with MyGM, and they specifically said for MyGM mode, there is no online this year, but it is something that they will look at for future games, maybe for 25, but it does seem like that is something that's going to be way down the road. And that's where I feel like something like a story designer that people request is also a long way away, unless they're working on that in the background. And the other one is going to do with show intros for Universe mode. I asked Brian Williams online to see if that is going to be returning. Show intros is when you boot up Universe, you start Monday Night Raw, and you get the pyro and the introduction and the pan to the crowd, and it kicks off the show. Or it's your custom arena, or it's the pay-per-view. That show intro piece, some people like it, some people want to turn it off because it just kind of gets in the way, and you've seen it a million times and you want to fast forward. And we used to have the toggle option for it. I used to turn off show intros because I don't need to see the same Monday Night Raw every single week. But people like it because they're creating content, or they just make it feel very authentic to WWE. And having Michael Cole come on, announcing it, saying welcome to Monday Night Raw, welcome to SmackDown, you kind of need those things and the music playing in the background. It's again adding to simulation, but Brian Williams did confirm with me directly, which, by the way, thanks, Brian. Quote, brother, I feel like Brian was like, let me tell you something, brother. I was like, oh no, Brian. He said, appreciate the question. Show intros will not be in universe mode. For those disappointed by the news, 2K24 is still one hell of a game. And I agree, I think it's going to be great in a lot of ways. This is disappointing for some players because it is a small feature, it is a quality of life feature, and it's nothing big. It really isn't anything big, substantial to players. If it's difficult to implement, sure, I'd rather the time and effort be going into more things like rival reactions and incorporating match types and those things because of, again, timeline restrictions. But I wish it was there because that's like one of those checklist items players are looking for. Special guest referee, casket match, more blood, collision is getting fixed. Not the AEW show. It's not fixed. If what Lionel Jinx is saying is that they're trying to get everything from play and exhibition mode to the other modes like MyGM and Universe and online to make it all kind of seamless, MyGM might be my go-to with drafts. Now they're incorporating trades. If they give us all of the match types and I can do up to, 8-man matches and the full year pay-per-view card, I might be spending more of my time in there than Universe mode. We'll have to wait and see. What do you think? Do you have concerns about Universe mode? And if you guys want to know more about some of the hidden stuff that seems to be creeping up, I went and did some investigating on all the trailers, find all the details. Click this video right here because it goes really, really in depth. It's really silly. Just go and find every possibility with the game that we know so far. Have a great day. See ya.